Okay, so good afternoon, Pak Gumilang. Today I'm going to present about my research proposal, which I have already presented in the class a week before the deadline for the final exam. So doesn't change much. Basically, doesn't change anything. The title still stays the same. Everything is in your mind. What makes you healthy, makes you happy. This is the evidence from the IFLS 5 survey using the method two-stage least squares or the 2SLS. So, for the introduction, the study explores the causal relationship between health perception and also life satisfaction in Indonesia using the data from the IFLS 5, and it employs a two-stage least squares or 2SLS method to address the potential indigeneity, aiming to provide insights into how wealth perception impacts life satisfaction. Sorry, it's not wealth perception, but health perception. Okay, so the motivation on why I want to conduct this study is, the study wants to explain with data, so the real example about the validity of the statement that health is your wealth, that it's just not a mere sentence, but also is statistically valid, and that better health also enhances productivity. It increases economic outcomes and also improves the overall satisfaction. We're talking in this context is about life satisfaction. And hence, if the outcome is significant, policies can be implemented respectfully in Indonesia because we're a developing country. And also the insurance, because I used to want to look at the insurance data in IFLS to add as a control variable or even as a new research, but it's not that prominent. The data it's not sufficient to run the regression with the limited data. Okay, so for the literature gap and review, Strauss in 2015 or from the IFLS 5 data mentions that in terms of life satisfaction, it only consists of high-income countries, leaving a significant gap to be researched in developing country. Layard also stated in the paper regarding mental illness and unhappiness that potential indigeneity might occur where happier individuals might report better health, remaining as a methodological challenge. And then Ogwoji, Diner Enchan, and Lee and Goh also had some of their thinking poured into their study that investments in health could lead to significant economic benefits, and also increase in physical and mental health has also been proven to enhance life quality, and also investments in public health infrastructures can also yield significant gains and happiness by reducing illness-related economic shocks. There are more of this literature review that can be accessed and can be read in my paper, but these are the mains that I used. Okay, so we can dive into the main research question. It's, does perception of health impact general welfare of household heads? Okay, so we move on to the analysis. I use the data from book 3A and 3B of the IFLS. So these are the dependent variable and the label SW00, book 3A. So all the data that I used here uses categorical data, which might be a problem if we're doing a 2SLS because in 2SLS we assume a continuous variable, but you can access in my paper, you can read in my paper that there's actually literature that supports an analysis of 2SLS using categorical variables as long as the outcome variable is also in the form of categorical, so it's not continuous. So both the predictors and the outcomes need to also have a set of same rules, use the same categories, and we can see here the dependent variable, the exogenous regressors, and also the endogenous variable and the instrument variables are all using the same codes and the same categories 1 until 4. So you can see from here, 1 is completely satisfied, 2 is very satisfied, 4 is not satisfied, and all of the variables have similar categorization. And so this is the proposed model and the methodology, I haven't changed this from the previous presentation. But this is the first stage and the second stage regression. So the name of the beta, I already have changed it in the paper, but in this context, I keep the presentation the same as like I presented a few weeks ago. And health is represented by the variable KK01, and life sat or the life satisfaction is represented by the variable SW00. So this is basically the research logic of the research. And then these are the regression results. Results in all variables are actually significant on the highest level using the 2SLS instrument variable methods. So here's the results. And this is the study case example. This has also already been mentioned in the paper. So uh, an increase of KK01 or your health, generally, how is your health? So let's say when the people change their answers from 1 to 2, so very healthy to somewhat healthy, it it directs the life satisfaction axis into a higher category. So let's say the subject answers the question KK01, or generally how's your health, with number one, very healthy, but then they change the answer into two, somewhat healthy. So there's a decrease of the quality there. And then the life satisfaction will also decrease by 0.20, will also increase by 0.233. So the increase basically means a bad thing, because in the satisfaction axis, if the score is higher, it means they are less satisfied with their life. So on average, when the subject changes the answer by 1 point, the life satisfaction axis will also increase by 0.233. And this is the first stage regression. The R squared and adjusted R squared implies a moderate result that shows the model has a moderate predictive power, where 23% of the variances is explained by the model. It's also significant where the p-value is lower than zero point 0.05 significance level. Hence, we can reject the null hypothesis that the instruments have no explanatory power for the endogenous variable. The F statistics also show a strong value. It's above the a rule of thumb of 10. It's in the thousands, 1795, with the p-value of 0, which is very significant. So this reduced the concerns of the weak instruments. So there are two robustness checks that have been conducted. The first one is for over-identification. The p-values are above the zero point 0.05 significance level, hence we fail to reject the null hypothesis of valid instruments. This means that the instrument variables are valid and not correlated with the error term. Therefore, over-identification is not an issue. So we use the Sargan and Busman chi-square for the over-identification test. And for the second one is for the endogeneity test. So the p-values of the Durbin score and Hausman score are also less than zero point 0.5 significance level. Therefore, we can reject the null hypothesis of exogeneity, suggesting that KK01, or generally how is your health, is significant in terms of its usage as an endogenous variable. The p-values are both very significant. On the highest level, it's on 0. So basically, the limitations of this study is, well, the data limitations. First of all, is the IFLS dataset lacks comprehensive health data, such as blood pressure, vaccination. So there might be constraints because there are no valid control variables here, so which may restrict deeper analysis. And the second one is about the moderate predictive power, since the R squared, although it might not be crucial for 2SLS, but the moderate only has a moderate predictive power. And also the significance of exogenous regressors, while health perception shows significant effects, the exogenous regressors has actually a weaker impact. And also the other limitation is because the data is in the form of categorical data, so it's not a continuous or numerical data, so it might affect the robustness of the estimates. Okay, and the last one is about the novelty. Well, there is one novelty of the study. It's about the causal link investigation. So, my study examines the causal relationship between health perception and also life satisfaction in Indonesia, where I tried to find it. There is no such studies yet have been conducted in that way. So, I want to see more than just correlation. So, from correlation to causation, using the 2 SLS method. So that is it for my presentation. Thank you very much and see you later.